JT created a video a few days after GloRilla was charged with marijuana. It was so straight and incisive that fans knew it was offensive.
Y'all always talking about the city girls, like the city girls ain't give y'all raggedy y'all personality. Don't play with me. Sick of y'all.
What had been a low-key conflict between them was escalated into a full-fledged public spat by this one clip. Let's dissect it now that we have all the information. When keeping it real goes awry, the streets never forget. When JT decided it was GloRilla's time to speak up, the hip-hop community was still reeling from the stunning news of her incarceration. For those who are unaware, GloRilla was arrested on major felony drug charges in Forsyth County, Georgia, when police searched her home while she was out of town attending the WNBA All-Star game.
So, GloRilla was arrested in Georgia on felony drug charges and was booked Tuesday in Forsyth County, Georgia. She posted a $22,000 bond. What they didn't know was that she had family staying with her, and her family, they were traumatized.
It makes sense that the streets were enraged. In order to correct the record, GloRilla herself had to go on X and claim that her home was broken into on Saturday, when she was in Indianapolis playing at the WNBA All-Star Game. She claimed that officials concentrated on some cannabis rather than finding the suspects. However, JT appeared to use that as a signal to change things up. She appeared plainly lit when she jumped on a live broadcast without any warning shots or subliminal cues, directing what many in the culture refer to as indirect, yet hefty smoke directly at GloRilla.
Y'all always talking about the city girls, like the city girls ain't give y'all raggedy y'all personality. Don't play with me.
Anyone with half a brain could see who she was aiming for, even if she didn't use GloRilla's government name or anything else. The ops in particular recognized the vibe immediately. This was a well-thought-out, icy retort delivered fresh, not some inebriated tirade. The two had already faced each other at the MTV VMAs a few weeks prior. Not only that, but after Glo apparently threw a purse-or, possibly even a drink straight at JT's head. The argument escalated into a full-fledged brawl, with security racing in to break it up.
JT snubbed her off, like in a very nasty, catty way. GloRilla went in to try to speak, and JT kind of gave like, GloRilla wasn't feeling that. And GloRilla threw a drink at JT, and then the girls had kind of separated.
The problem is that JT's attitude wasn't unexpected. Rumor has it that something that happened at Beyoncé's concert a week prior to the VMAs was the catalyst for her entire salty mood. GloRilla and JT were both inside the building. However, rumors have it that Young Miami and JT attempted to enter Yo Gotti's VIP area, where Glo was already relaxing. Security walked them out as if they were just random fans, rather than giving them the cordial reception they had anticipated. It seems that JT was agitated by that awkward situation. She then recognized her opportunity to get revenge when the VMAs arrived and made sure to play Glo to the side in front of the entire industry. However, Glo wasn't going to take that lightly. According to several witnesses, Glo let her hands speak and transformed the backstage area into a miniature battleground when that small projectile was aimed at JT. Since that Beyoncé concert incident, these two haven't been cool, and the VMAs just made it worse. In the present day, when Glo is facing severe accusations, JT couldn't help but take another shot. The twisted aspect is how JT was able to change the story so that, despite being the one who started the drama, she appears to be the victim. She mentioned loyalty, betrayal, and individuals tampering with her belongings in her broadcast. And everyone in the comments immediately connected it to her feud with Glo. She went live just hours after Glo's felony charges were made public. So the timing couldn't have been more deliberate. She knew exactly what she was doing, so it wasn't an accident. Their past is more complicated than most people realize, which adds layers to this issue. This has its roots in long-standing industry politics, personal betrayals, and some alleged illegal activity that has been kept under wraps. It didn't begin at the VMAs or even during Beyoncé's performance. The kind of pass that would unnerve even the game's most seasoned players if it were completely revealed in.
I was prepping the other day, and I couldn't even prep for this show because I was reading about you on Twitter. And I was like, everybody was blowing on my phone. Did you see what's going on Twitter? So tell me, why did you feel the need to pop up on JT so hard?
Everything just always everything. At the end of the day, that they gonna in.
Yeah, hello. and it's all the truth though.
The true conflict between these two didn't just start. Rather, it began in September 2022, when GloRilla and Cardi B's song Tomorrow 2 became an enormous smash. Although it appeared to be just another chart-topping occasion for both singers, there was apparently significant tension with JT behind the scenes. The problem? Cardi's part on the song was quickly accused by fans of containing some sly subliminals directed at JT and the City Girls. Given that JT has been openly dating Nicki Minaj for years, and that Nicki and Cardi have a long-standing feud, any perceived slight was bound to be heightened, giving that idea even more credence. Thus, rather than merely commemorating the song's popularity, the occasion subtly added fuel to a fire that was already raging beneath the surface.
Get her with the purse.
Everything is everything.
Listen, and I gotta talk to you about Megan Thee Stallion in the new track. So tell me all about working with her on such a great song.
I love Megan. She's a wonderful person. She's so fun. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? And I taught her how to twerk.
Oh no, for real?
Yeah,
you taught that how to twerk.
I taught her how to twerk. Yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing.
It might seem crazy, but it's true.
What began as a contest between two up-and-coming talents swiftly devolved into something far more vengeful and personal. Industry insiders soon started pointing out what they thought were coded messages and subtle digs in each artist's interviews, social media posts, and even songs. The conflict-loving hip-hop scene instantly took sides, scrutinizing every perceived slight and escalating the tension to the point where it was almost impossible to make amends. Before delving further into the disaster, it's crucial to take a step back and consider GloRilla's past because it helps to explain why she manages conflict the way she does and why this dispute unfolded so differently from other business dramas. She was born Gloria Hallelujah Woods on July 28, 1999, in Memphis, Tennessee, and was raised in the difficult Fraser neighborhood of North Memphis. By the time she was growing up, Fraser, which had once been a respectable middle-class neighborhood, had been severely impacted by the economic downturn, bringing with it the hardships that molded her mindset at an early age. Gloria's early years were focused on survival because she was the 8th of 10 children in a big, mixed family. The family frequently slept on pallets rather than actual beds, and poverty wasn't a passing fad. Rather, it was a reality that influenced her perspective on the world. Her story is all the more remarkable because she grew up in one of the most devoutly religious homes you can imagine. To reduce extraneous influences, she was homeschooled until the 5th grade, and her parents maintained standards that bordered on being aggressive. Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, and Halloween celebrations were prohibited, as was secular music. Thanksgiving and the 4th of July were the only holidays observed by the family. Between the ages of 5 and 12, GloRilla was singing solos in the church choir and dreaming of becoming a gospel singer. Gospel singers such as Kirk Franklin and Donnie McClurkin dominated the home soundtrack. However, like with many tales, rigid regulations frequently pique interest. She longed to encounter the outside world more and more as her parents fought to keep her from it. Her first real hustle was born out of this interest. She and her siblings began plotting methods to obtain secular music, focusing on CDs of Drake and Lil Wayne that were available at Walmart. Her elder brothers even made it into a little side business by selling the pilfered CDs at school, and they would download the songs into a PlayStation for covert listening sessions. She held conventional jobs before music became popular, such as working shifts at Walmart and operating the drive-thru at Checkers. And she frequently streamed live on social media while at work for her own amusement. She left those occupations in 2018 or 2019 to devote herself fully to music. posting her first freestyle on Facebook and spending time in studios with family support. FNF, Let's Go, a song she recorded in under 30 minutes with producer Hikid, gave her her big break in April 2022. The song's unadulterated, unreserved energy fueled the hashtag FNF challenge, which went viral on TikTok and catapulted it into the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100. By July 2022, she was the first female artist signed to Yo Gotti's CMG label after he noticed the excitement. At the 65th Annual Grammy Awards in 2023, Fen even garnered her a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance. The actual turning point in her relationship with JT, however, was her subsequent significant move, the Tomorrow to duet with Cardi B. The song went double platinum and became GloRilla's first top 10 smash. But it also carried a cloud of controversy. Because of JT's devotion to Cardi's longtime nemesis, Nicki Minaj, fans theorized that Cardi's verse contained subliminals directed at JT and the City Girls. What should have been a straightforward misunderstanding intensified from their GloRilla addressed the issue in her mixtape, E-Thang by April 2024. The lyric, "Me and JT aren't the best of friends, but we aren't beefing," appears on the tune 8. JT interpreted it as a deceptive tactic, which led to a full-scale internet conflict, even though she meant it as an olive branch. JT exposed behind-the-scenes drama, calling GloRilla messy and phony, and even shared past mugshots with a blank space, threatening to add another if they met in person. In retaliation, GloRilla made fun of JT's wigs, acknowledged that she had struck her with a purse at the VMAs, and threatened to attend one of her little performances. The rivalry continued when fans chimed in, with JT's Juvies and Big Glow followers arguing online. Both women openly announced a truce by November 2024, accusing fans of exaggerating the situation. However, hatred persisted in the background, silently waiting for the ideal spark to light the fires again. When GloRilla's life took a drastic turn in July 2025, that spark was ignited. What should have been a joyous summer became one of the most tragic events in her career. She had a performance at the WNBA All-Star Game halftime show in Indianapolis on July 19, 2025. However, her Georgia house in the affluent St. Marlow Country Club enclave was broken into by criminals while she was performing. When Forsyth County deputies arrived on the scene of the burglary at 1:30 a.m. on July 20th, they found 3 suspects trying to take valuables, including jewelry. The violent break-in left family members who were staying at the residence terrified, but things quickly got out of hand. The burglars ran away unharmed as someone inside the residence brandished a gun at them. However, many people thought the government's response was dubious. When deputies found marijuana throughout the investigation, they requested a search warrant from the Lanier Regional Drug Task Force. 2 jars of THC wax, a concentrated product that is categorized as a Schedule I restricted substance in Georgia, and about 2.8 pounds of cannabis were found during the search. Many referred to this as a regressive consequence. Glow was charged even though she was the victim of a home invasion. She turned herself in to Forsyth County officials on July 22, 2025, and was charged with 2 felonies: possession of a Schedule I controlled drug and possession of marijuana. Her reputation had already been harmed by the arrest, but she was freed the same day after posting a $22,260 bond. Glow expressed her annoyance on X, claiming that police chose to concentrate on cannabis discovered at her house rather than the suspects. However, JT was apparently waiting for the appropriate moment to approach Glow, who was coping with the emotional and legal ramifications of the break-in. What transpired is currently regarded as one of the most well-thought-out personal attacks in the history of contemporary hip-hop. New claims that Glow had planned to have JT attacked during a key Memphis event first arose in July 2025. JT's public fight with Sukihana was allegedly part of the purported scheme to deflect attention. Sources claim that Glossip, a fellow Memphis rapper and former buddy of Glow's, warned JT and provided pictures of group chats as evidence, exposing this conspiracy. Glossip, a label mate of JT and then signed to Quality Control, ALLEGEDLY, shared the information, resulting in a FaceTime altercation between JT and Glow, according to reports. When the individuals recruited for the attack withdrew, the plot fell apart. According to reports, the betrayal went further than any public jab, transforming their animosity into something frightening and intimate. JT therefore saw a chance to react in a targeted and discreet manner when word of Glow's arrest broke. She apparently made a direct video message directed only at Glow, sent through reliable middlemen, in place of a public post. Those who claim to have seen the tape said it showed JT addressing Glow's legal predicament with a mixture of fake pity and obvious joy while speaking calmly and directly to the camera. According to reports, it went beyond her public remarks, discrediting Glow's allegations of police targeting and raising doubts about whether someone who is accused of plotting harm against other women is deserving of pity. More significantly, when they had publicly reconciled, JT apparently confronted the jump scheme head-on, expressing disgust and rage at Glow's behavior. The footage was released at a crucial moment, as Glow was still coming to terms with the home invasion, her arrest, and the prospect of going to jail. Although the video's precise contents were not made public, word of it immediately traveled around industry circles. This concealment increased its impact because Glow was unable to control the narrative despite knowing that hurtful remarks were being spread. According to those close to both artists, the video did what it was supposed to do, jolting Glow and reminding her that past deeds can have adversaries ready to attack when you are at your lowest. Glow had already encountered legal issues. She was arrested for DUI in Georgia in April 2024, after being stopped for doing an illegal U-turn at a red light. She was charged with DUI, marijuana possession, and possessing an open container after failing field sobriety tests. The trend implied that although Glow had advanced rapidly in the business, her offstage choices were endangering her profession. Her case is still pending as of July 29, 2025, one day after her 26th birthday. As she negotiates legal disputes, strained professional relationships, and the fallout from previous confrontations, the video continues to linger as a personal yet potent weapon, and her future is still unknown.